I'm back. I'm here to start a new weekend reading vlog. So this weekend is themed around Mean Girls. I'm a part of Riley Marie's Patreon and we are having a Mean Girls readathon. So the first book you have to read as a book that is so fetch or hype. So I'm listening to Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, which I'm really enjoying. Like, I'm really liking that. Touch a photo before or after this, probably after because I just started the vlog. That is super fun. I'll talk about that in like a little bit. I'm also physically reading 6 Times We Almost Kissed and One Time We Did by Tasha Sharp. This is the LGBTQ plus romance Love to Hate to More. I really am liking it. Like, it's fun. I'm about 62 pages in. It follows these 2 girls that moms are best friends, and they actually have to live together because their moms are getting like liver transplants so that she could save her best friend's life, and they really don't like each other. So it's still both in the present when they're moving in together, but also in the past to the 6 times they almost kissed. And they have a lot of tension. That's good. And then some other prompts on the board is you have to read a book with an unlikable character. So I picked up Getting in the Night by Tamsin Muir. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. It is technically an adult, so I do have to read an adult book this month, and I've heard really good thing. And it's lesbian necromancer in space. So that's what I've heard. I know that Books and Lala said she really enjoyed it, so hopefully. And I have some just other prompts in case I get around to it. If I get around to reading a book about school, I will probably pick up Disaster in Third Acts by Carly Rodsky. They did wind up reaching somewhat of an agreement for the HarperCollins strike, so I can actually finally read this book. But if they don't have the thing, maybe I won't read it. We'll see. But this is the plan for this. And then a book that's been on my TBR for a while is Corner of White by Jacqueline Moriarty. I'm just trying to have a wide range of books. Also, I'm doing a readathon next week where like you have to pick 5 books for the whole week. So I don't know how that's gonna go. But yeah, so let's get into Part of Your World, which I will talk about now. So you basically follow this main character who is a doctor, and she her brother has like moved away, and she's like the last woman left standing, and she winds up getting stranded at the small town. Such a famous plot device, so famous. And she winds up meeting this guy who's a lot younger than her. They have a one-night stand and she's like horrified. But their paths keep crossing, and it's just small town vibes. It's just really fun. It gives you Part of Your World, like Little Mermaid vibes, and I do feel that. I am really enjoying it. I like her writing style quite a bit. There's a pet goat. I'm intrigued. So yeah, I'm like 3 hours into that. I was having a lot of time with my computer yesterday, so I just was listening to it as I was trying to fix it, and I got a lot of done. When I go to yoga today, I'll probably make some significant progress on that as well. I don't know what the next audiobook I'm going to pick up is, but we'll talk about that later. And I also have about 60 pages into this, and I'm really enjoying it. I have not picked a TV show for the weekend yet. I normally pick one. I might do The Last of Us because it's a little bit shorter, but we will see. All right, I'm going to go figure that out. I'm going to go read a little bit more of this. I'm going to get ready for yoga, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, Book Dragons. Hey friends, I just want to give you an update. It is Sunday, it's Saturday, it's a little bit later, but I did wind up getting up to page 107 in my book. I also am really enjoying listening to Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. That is the book I'm going to focus on because I listened to about 2 hours of it. Definitely gives me a lot of small town vibes. I could definitely see why people are telling you it is like a Little Mermaid-esque. I really do like that she is a doctor. Her family is a little bit horrible to her, so I could see how that is very like Little Mermaid-esque. I also really do like the small town vibes. I love books set in a small town, but it's a little bit different. Normally when you read a book about like a rich character, like a doctor or something, when she goes to the small town, she's like very hesitant. It's not the vibes I'm getting, which I think is really unique. The small town vibes is really working for me, and it's very fun. This book is a bit different, so I read about 100 pages of this, and it's definitely told in like an interesting way because you have book chapters in the present where the 2 main characters are forced to live together. They really don't like each other, but their moms are best friends, and one of the girls' moms has cancer. And her best friend, the other girl's mom, is going to give her liver, so they're like cohabitating for 3 months. They're very different. And you kind of, as you see their time in the present, you also flash back to the past. And 6 times they almost kissed and one time that they did. So they have a very, very combative relationship, but sort of love to hate that I do like, because there is so much history and it does give me love to hate vibes, but there is like so much history because they have been friends for so long. So I'm really enjoying it. I think their point of views are a little bit similar right now, but Penny's past is very interesting. Penny's dealing with a lot. Her dad died and she feels very, very guilty. And then Tate is a competitive swimmer, but her mom is obviously sick. So it's a very, very, you know, like almost like a unique family structure that I'm really liking. So when I get up to page 150, I will give you guys an update. I don't know how long that's going to take. It is definitely colder than I thought it was going to be today. I was planning on going for a bike ride and stuff like that, but I think it's just too cold. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, I'm also watching The Last of Us. I watched the first like 30 minutes of it, which was probably heartbreaking. But again, I don't feel that connected to any of the characters yet. We haven't even met Bella Ramsey's character yet. So I'm intrigued with this 20-year time jump too. But yeah, I'll report back when I read about 50 more pages by Book Dragons. And if I get any listening done, I'll be sure to tell you guys about that too. That's definitely, out of these two books, is the one that I really am loving. So yeah, I'm glad that the reader thought maybe I picked it up, because it definitely has been hyped. And I see why. Hey friends, I'm back. It is about 1:30, so I did wind up reading up to page 150 in my book. I am enjoying it. I think this is definitely like a fun way to tell a story. Like, I do like books that have like a unique story structure. This definitely does fall into that category. It reminds me of when I read Better Off Friends by Elizabeth Eulberg. That had like a very interesting story structure as well, because you're basically getting like the past part of their story, the present timeline of the story, and then you're getting these random like subchapters between their two best friends as they're talking, and I'm curious like what's gonna happen with them, because their dynamic is hysterical. And now they're getting closer to transplant day for the two girls, and I'm just really liking it. Like, it's very, very fun. It's very, very quick. And I do feel like there's so much history here. This is the type of enemies to more romance I like, because it is steeped in history, but it does also deal with a lot of complicated topics. Like, Penny's dad died and she feels very, very guilty, and that sort of, there was an accident and her dad died when he was with her. They were swimming in the water. And that sort of led to a lot of complicated relationship between her and her mom. And her mom is like very like, I wouldn't say she's like an absentee parent, but she's just a very like emotionally distant parent. And then you have Tate and her mom. Her mom is the one that has cancer, and their relationship is just so dynamic and so different. And Penny does have a really good relationship with her grandma. It's just different, and just I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna read to page 200 and give you guys an update and like a time check. I might go for, if I can't take the puppy for a walk later, I might go for a run on my treadmill, just so I can listen to a little bit more of Part of Your World by Amy Jimenez. But knowing the puppy, she'll probably want to go for a walk. But yeah, so I'm going to read another 50 pages. I'm watching The Last of Us. We finally met Bella Ramsey's character, which is super exciting. I'm also trying to catch up on some YouTube videos. This was a bit of a hectic week. I had like 2 days where I didn't read it all because it was just a wonky week. But yeah, I'm going to go read another 50 pages and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye, Book Dragons. Hey friends, I just want to do a couple of updates. I did wind up finishing Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I loved it. I listened to that book in like literally less than 24 hours, because I started listening to it yesterday when I was like doing errand stuff for YouTube and stuff, and I just did not want to put the book down. I listened to it all day today. I am done. Loved it. It is definitely one of my favorite books I've read this year so far. Like, I devoured it. I want to go back and read her other books. I didn't hear the best things about some of them, like The Friend Zone and Life's Too Short, but I really heard good things about the Happily Ever After playlist that I want to pick up. And I also would like to read her newest one. I actually I bought that on Audible, so I'm going to get it when it comes out, but loved it. I devoured it. It had the best small town vibes that I've ever read. Loved it. I love the characters. I said in my historical reading vlog that I wrote, or I put up, that like I was missing some like very, very sweet heroes, and that wasn't what I was reading in the past couple of months. But oh my god, I loved him in there. It was like age gap. It was also like reverse, like what you expect, because the girl was older, the guy was younger. The guy is from a small town, the girl is from the big city. It was very much reverse vibes, but it also did give me like Little Mermaid vibes. I can't really explain it. The cover definitely does, but like there was animals, there was small towns. I loved it. I really, really loved it. I also got up to page 200 and 6 Times We Kissed by Tessa Sharp. I'm also really liking this book. Again, I just like a book that has mixed media elements, and I think that like it's very, very compelling because you're sort of flashing back to the past. I think these characters are both really interesting, and they can be unlikable, which is actually a prompt I need to do this weekend. So I might just kind of read what I want this weekend, but I am reading stuff, and there's no real live shows, so I don't feel as like captured to read because there's nothing pushing me to read like what I want, but I'm just gonna read. But yeah, so when I get to page 250, I'll give you guys an update. I watched the first episode of The Last of Us, which I'm really liking. Bella Ramsey has finally made her appearance, so I'm gonna go watch a little bit more of that. And when I get up to page 250, I'll give you guys an update. But so far, really enjoyed it. So happy that I finished another book. I started listening to the audio of Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, but I don't know if I'm going to keep listening to that or listen to something else tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long this takes me to read. Right now it is about 6:02, so I might get a bit more reading done. I'm definitely going to read to at least page 250, and we'll see how long that takes me, but I am liking it. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, Book Dragons. Hey, Book Dragons. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It is in the morning. I wound up watching a couple of episodes of Last of Us last night. I'm in the middle of, like, again, I've never watched the video game, so there's a lot of side plots in this story that I am enjoying, but I'm still very connected to Bella Ramsey's storyline, so I'm waiting to see when we get back to her, because we're in a weird situation now. I'm enjoying it though. I don't dislike it. It's just different. It's not what I was expecting. But I also got up to page 252 in my book. My goal is to finish this today. I'm also picked up A Matter of Temptation by Stacey Reid, which will be my audiobook for next week. I'm doing a reading challenge, and you have to choose 5 books to focus on next week. So I'm just trying to put myself in a position where those books are like sort of like prepped. I do not know how long it's going to take me to finish this. It's about 8, it's like 8:11. I have to go to yoga. I'm gonna probably go, listen to my audiobook while I'm going. In this book, 252, I have about like a little bit over 100 pages left. Definitely doable to finish today, and then I just don't know what I'm gonna read next. So yeah, I'm gonna go read, watch a little bit of The Last of Us, and I'll update you guys when I get up to page 300. That'll probably be after yoga. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. But so far, I'm really enjoying this book. It's very, very fun. I think the structure's interesting. I think it's a very different type of story, but I do really like the structure. I also like that we get a bunch of like messages from outside characters, especially their 2 best friends. And again, it's just a fun read. Very, very unique, very, very different. It does deal with harder topics like grief and loss and stuff like that. But overall, I'm feeling it. I think it works for me because they have been friends and been in each other's life for so long. So it's definitely more friends to more, but like friends to more with a hate to love element to it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to go read for a little bit, go to yoga, and I'll update you guys when I come home. Bye, Book Dragons. Hi, Book Dragons. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up going to yoga, which was so exciting. I'm charging my Fitbit, but I think it's about 12 o'clock. Today is also Super Bowl Sunday. Does Laura have any plans on watching anything sports related? No, I do not, but we are here for books and a good time. So I wound up getting up to page 300, and 6 Times We Almost Kissed by Tessa Sharp. We are getting to the crux of the story. There has been an element in the story that we have been talking about. It's called Yarrick, when they were on a trip, and we were finally getting that plot point. I like it. The one thing I will say about this author and this book specifically is Tate and Penny are different, but their point of views read a little bit similar, and I think it's because they're like literally in the same location as well, and their experiences are a little bit similar. So like there's not enough for me to differentiate between their voices. I think if I was listening to this and it was dual narrator, I think it would have made my enjoyment a little bit easier and better to enjoy it. But I am enjoying it. I did want to say that I did want to picking up, oh, did I grab it? No. A Matter of Temptation by Stacey Reid. That is just a really, really fun historical romance that was on Book Refuge Favorite Books of the Year, and I wanted to read it. I was planning on doing like all of these reading vlogs where like reading booktuber's best and worst books. I still might do that throughout the year, but a lot of the ones I wanted to start with were HarperCollins titles. Now that like HarperCollins has read a tentative deal, I can start doing that. I have a couple of books on my TBR that just are HarperCollins, and I was waiting for that thing to resolve itself so I could do the vlogs I wanted to do. without offending anyone. So, but I did want to say that I did wind up starting that. It's about this girl. Her brother winds up cheating at cards, and they're twins. And they are a little bit of money issues. She wound up eloping when she was younger, and that kind of left her family in a little bit of a financial quandary. Her dad died, and her brother is sort of trying to get all these loans, and he's not having much success, so he cheats at cards, and he is basically sent to do a duel. But Mina knows that she is the better marksman or the better rapier, so she goes in her place, and the Lord finds out, and he offers her a job as his secretary. So I've only really listened to an hour about that. That's probably gonna be my book for next week. I will talk about that in my reading vlog when I start to film that, because I have a big reading vlog planned for next week, because it's for this Shield reading challenge I'm doing, and we've been warned that next week's gonna be pretty chaotic. So my goal is to read another 50 pages of this. I'm also watching The Last of Us. Totally different from my last clip where I said, I don't know who these people are. Why am I supposed to care? I care now. I'm emotionally invested and I'm concerned. So yeah, that's where we are. I'm on episode 3. I still miss Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal because I like them a lot, but I am liking the other characters that we're meeting in this story as well. And I just like how HBO does their releases. They're really, really long episodes. It reminds me of watching a Stranger Things episode. So yeah, I'm gonna go read to 350 in this, and I'll give you guys another update. It is a pretty nice day, so I might actually take the puppy for a walk later and take a Matter of Temptation with me for Stacey read later. But we'll see. I might go for a run later. I got a treadmill, so I'm trying to use that a little bit more. But yeah, this book is good. It's just, I wish the voices were a little bit more unique, or the character voices were unique enough, or the book was told in one person's point of view. Because I just think the characters are a little bit too similar for me to tell them apart. But that's my only real query. I think the structure of the story is really, really good. I like the plot. I think it's a nice enemies to friends to more story. I think the history is great. Probably gonna be a 3.75 star read for me, but so far really liking it, and I'll be back with some more thoughts soon. Bye, book dragons. Hey friends, I just want to do a bit of a quick update. It is a little bit later. I think it's almost 3 o'clock. Again, we are not really focused on the Super Bowl in this house other than my dad, but I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to the last part of my book, so I'm on page 350 in this book. I am enjoying it. I think that as the story goes on, it's getting a little bit more distinct to tell the characters apart. This book does deal with a lot of grief elements, especially for Penny's character and also for Tate's character. Tate's character is dealing a lot with her mom, and so is Penny, but there was an accident, I think 6 years before, where Penny's dad died, and she was involved in that heavily, so she has a lot of PTSD, and finally, at the end of the book, we're getting some closure with that. It's very interesting. I love the way the book is structured, and I also like there is text chats, and it's also not only with our main character, so you do get outside point of views. I read Royal Blood recently that had elements of that I did enjoy, because even though you're only in Tate's and Penny's head, you do get other people's conversations and elements. I really am liking this story. This would be a great summer read. It did come out obviously in January, but I think that this would be a great one. A lot of LGBTQ plus rep, a lot of stuff like that. There's also a very interesting dynamic in the family, which I do like on both sides, both Tate and Penny's side, and they kind of formed a found family with their moms, which I do really like. So yeah, I'm gonna go wrap up the rest of this, and then I'm gonna see how long this vlog is, because I am starting a new vlog this week, reading week, for something else, but I just don't know if I should start it now or wait. I also have to pick an ebook for that too. So yeah, I'm gonna go wrap up this. I am really watching The Last of Us, really, really enjoying it. Happy I picked it up. I have to watch stuff early because I have kids that I teach, and if they watch something, they'll spoil me and they won't even think about it because they just don't remember not to spoil Miss Morrow. So I have to remember, if I'm gonna watch stuff in a timely fashion and then talk about it with the kids, I just have to do it before they spoil me, and I'm already 4 weeks behind. So all right, enough about my life story, but I am gonna go finish this. Ooh, we're on August 9th, which is my birthday. Yay. But yeah, this definitely be a great summer read. I will say that. A lot of summer vibes. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna go finish this, and then we'll chat, and then we'll see what I'm gonna read for the rest of the day. Bye, book dragons. Hey friends, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It's almost 4 o'clock, so I did wind up reading this a little bit later, but I have been watching The Last of Us and trying to catch up on YouTube. But yeah, I did end up finishing 6 Times We Almost Kissed by Tessa Sharp. I really like this book. I thought it was really interesting. I would probably say, before I put it in my spreadsheet, I would say it's probably like a 4-star read. I tend to like books that have a little bit of like the couple gets together like 10% at the end, just because I like to see their happily ever after, and these characters you don't really see that. I also will stand by my thing. I do think the format of this book was great. I think the characters were fun and intriguing. I think their point of views were a little bit similar for me to really feel invested in both of them. It just felt like I was reading one character, but there was two. I thought the topics in this were really, really good. I like the setting, I like the concept. It was great. I would definitely read more by this author in the future. She has a backlist title that's been on my TBR for quite a while, which is more like a thriller, which I really do want to get. But I liked it. I thought that there was a couple of things that like weren't totally wrapped up. Like, I would like a book about their friends, because I think their friends were on the verge of getting together, maybe Megan and Remy. And I felt like some of the other side plots just weren't fleshed out as much, but I liked it, so I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go input all this footage, see how long this vlog is, see if I can make it a weekend reading vlog and do the 3 books I read. But we'll see. So I'll be back to wrap up this reading vlog, or talk a little bit more about what I'm gonna read for the rest of the night, because it is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm probably gonna stay up a smidge later, but we will see. I'm gonna go input all this footage and I'll talk to you guys when it's done. I want to see how long this is, because I've been trying to make my vlogs like 20 to 30 minutes, but this one might be a little bit shorter. We will see. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye, Book Dragons. Hey Book Dragons, I'm back. I think I'm gonna wrap up my reading vlog because it's over like 20 minutes. So I only wound up finishing 2 books this weekend. I finished one like Friday night, but that I'll just talk about in my wrap up because I wasn't really vlogging it. But I did wind up finishing 6 Times We Almost Kissed by Tessa Sharp. I just put it in my Goodreads, my tracking software for Casey Covers with Cassidy. Her spreadsheet's super helpful. If you would like a spreadsheet, I would recommend it. And I gave it 4 stars. I still say everything. I liked the concept. I thought it was fun. I think the character voices could have been a little bit more different. But yeah, definitely a fun one. Does deal with some harder issues for sure. But a fun read. And then the other book I talked a little bit about it in the start, was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. That is an adult romance. I love that book. I didn't say it in it because I was reading it in such quick progressions. There is a lot of talk about domestic abuse in a lot of different ways, Emotional abuse, physical abuse, parental emotional abuse. So there's a lot of abuse in that discussion that I thought was very prevalent. And also like toxic relationships was also mentioned a lot. So yeah. Overall, super good. I love that book. They gave that one 5 stars. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog and get ready for my next one, because I think that one's going to be a bit crazy. So yeah, let me know what's some books you read recently. Are you reading some more romance books for February, which is normally what I do. I'm going to try to take a little bit of a break and go back to reading some fantasy next week. You guys will see that in my next reading vlog. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, Book Dragons. Comment below what is one thing you read recently that you loved. I would love to know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Book Dragons.